Hi everyone, welcome back. It's the Louis Vuitton Princess, and today I am here to talk to you guys about one of my latest purchases. So for starters, I'm sorry it is like super duper bright in here this morning. You guys know that I love to film in natural lighting. Sometimes it even gets to be a little bit too much, but I love it. There's nothing that makes me happier than waking up in the morning and coming out into my living room and it's super bright and beautiful like this. So I'm sharing a little piece of that with you guys today. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys one of my most recent Louis Vuitton purchases. I did not make an unboxing video for this because I genuinely didn't think people would be interested. This also wasn't really a piece that I planned to buy at all. So basically the story behind this piece is I was looking on Facebook Marketplace. I saw someone had it listed originally for like $400. I was like, yeah, in that condition, no. So I messaged them and I was like, hey, I'll give you like $80 because that's like about what it's worth in this condition. The person's like, no way, not selling it for $80, whatever. I have a buyout from Fashion File, whatever. So I was like, okay, sure, like no biggie. So then I see the item listed again this past week for $300. So I was like, hey, I don't know if you're still trying to sell this, but if you're still trying to sell this, my offer stands. And the person was like, $100, whatever, it's yours. So I was like, okay, bet. So I went and picked it up this weekend. And the bag is the Louis Vuitton Sologne in Multicolore Blanc. So all in all, I'm honestly really happy with this bag. And I learned a lot from this purchase. So this is actually my second Sologne. I purchased a Sologne something like probably 3 years ago, and I returned it because it had a lot of color transfer issues, and the Sologne kind of made its way off of my bag list very quickly because of that. But recently I have found myself wanting a multicolor noir Sologne. So this is the Blanc. So I've been finding myself wanting a multicolor noir Sologne. So then when I saw this one for really cheap, I was like, well, this is kind of a good research bag. I can kind of wear this bag and assess how much I like it, and that'll determine for me how much I'm willing to spend on a multicolor noir Sologne. That'll let me know how much I like it and how practical it actually is for me. And I'm really glad I did it. I'm gonna go through my experience of having this bag, and this being my second Sologne, and just kind of share my thoughts on the Sologne. I can definitely say after having this Sologne, I got it on Saturday. So after having this Sologne for a little while, I can definitely say it's changed my opinions on the Sologne a bit. I can also definitely say seeing how this bag has aged, it's definitely made me reconsider my budget for a noir Sologne. I originally was thinking about, probably going into the 1,500 plus sort of realm for a good condition noir Sologne. But after seeing how this bag aged, I don't think I would go that high anymore. And I'm going to show you why. So again, I purchased this bag for around $100 off of Facebook Marketplace. I met the person at a Starbucks, got some breakfast. And so the main reason I purchased this bag is because it was cheap, for starters. And I have really wanted a Louis Vuitton bag, particularly a multicolor bag, because you guys know how much I love multicolor. I've really wanted a Louis Vuitton bag that I could sort of just be rough with. I mostly have wanted a Louis Vuitton crossbody to go hiking with. That is very, very specific, but I've wanted a Louis Vuitton crossbody that I could hike with, mostly because I hate when I go hiking and I never want to take my nice bags because I'm scared. And so then usually I take a pouchette or something, but that's not really big enough to fit anything. So even though this bag has a lot of wear and tear, it fit that description to the T. So now I'm going to show you guys the details of the bag, because everybody could not believe that I got this bag for $100 just because of how high these are now. But I'm sure when I show you the wear on it, you'll probably be able to understand a little bit why I was able to get it for $100. And I mean, I think it's probably still a little bit undervalued because these bags are so expensive now that I even see them selling in really bad shape like this one is in. And they usually still sell for around like 400, 500. So this was still a deal, oddly enough. But I would never pay for what I consider to be a junk condition bag. I would never go over like $200 for it. So $100 was like a good price point. So let's dive in. So first we're just going to look at the exterior of the bag. So you can see that this bag has some rubbing issues. There's some chipping on the canvas. There's even some rubbing on the buckle here in the front. Yes, I know I painted one hand and not the other, but I'm gonna get there today. And you can also see on the top here, there is some chipping issues on the bag. Now we're gonna go to the back. The back has quite a bit of color transfer. I was able to wipe quite a bit of it off. One of the big questions that people had for me when I originally posted this bag was how was I going to clean it? And this is the answer right here. I just have these little microfiber towels and I use water very carefully. Again, I would not recommend that method if you have like a new bag or a bag that doesn't have any water stains, but it's like for a bag like this that's like not in the best shape, it's fine. And so, you know, I just dip it in the water, I wring it out almost completely. You know, people use scent-free water wipes to clean bags. Basically, I turn this essentially into a scent-free water wipe. So I wring it out until the extent that it would have a similar amount of moisture as a wipe. That's basically what I did. And just sort of scrubbed around the whole bag. So I've given it one bath since I first got it. I'm probably going to give it a second one and a third one. But anyways, so I was able to clean a lot of the just sort of surface dirt off and a little bit of the color transfer. And then once again, you can see there's a bit of chipping on here. And then we'll look at the bottom. The bottom's actually not in bad shape. And we have the straps. So the straps have quite a bit of wear. As you can see, here's the one side strap here. It's a little dry, a little flaky. Now, thankfully, it's not broken. It's not broken. The integrity is still very good, but it's definitely a bit dry, a bit flaky. And that's sort of the theme. You know, you can see the strap is very dark. It's got some flaky spots. It's super dark. There's water spots. So the strap is not super pretty. Now, here's where I'm going to get to the real damage, and I'm going to get to why after having this bag in a sort of older version, I would be hesitant about paying a lot of money for the Sologne. So the first area where there's major damage on this bag is the top. So there is a crack, you can sort of see it up at the top here. And as you guys know, I typically do not buy bags with cracks, but again, this was in my junk bag budget. So I'm actually gonna try to fix the cracks. There are ways to fix cracks on Louis Vuitton canvas. So again, that's another reason why I sort of bought this bag. It was kind of like a project bag. So I'm gonna try to fix the cracks, along with try to fix the chipping, because you can actually paint in the chipping to fix it. So this is gonna be a project for me. But anyways, so this is the first area of major damage, this crack at the top. And this is a reason why I would not spend a fortune on a Sologne now, because it's very clear that the material that's on the underside is not really compatible with the canvas on the top. And so when the bag is bent over, it creates too sharp of a sort of angle at the top here, and so it cracks. It's not a smooth layover, and this is not a new issue. This is very common with any Louis Vuitton styles where the canvas bends in any type of manner permanently. This typically is what happens, so this is very common. The second and third areas of major wear on the Sologne are on the sides. So as you can see, there's quite a few cracks on the sides here, and this side has them as well. Also quite common. So again, it's like to all the people out there who spent $2,000 on bags like the Pochette Matisse, yeah, go ahead and brace yourself for this, because the Multicolore Sologne is very similar to the Pochette Matisse. And if you look at some of the older Pochette Matisses, you will start to see this exact same sort of wear with the cracking on the top and the sides. You will see some of that exact stuff. So if you brought a Pochette Matisse, be prepared for that. Very similar style of bag, and it will probably wear in a very similar manner over time. And the last area of major wear is to open the Sologne. You push this button. There are some cracks on the interior perimeter as well. Going across here, you can see them. And I actually still have this stuffed because I was carrying it this weekend when I went hiking. But the inside of the bag is in decent shape. There's nothing too crazy going on in here. But yeah, and here's the made in Louis Vuitton stamp. So this is the wear and tear on my Multicolore Sologne that I paid $100 for. And so it's like, it's hard for me. Like, I am so used to buying like pristine condition bags for cheap that I truthfully didn't even really want to spend $100 on this bag, because I've literally brought brand new Louis Vuitton bags for $100. My Multicolore Eliza is a good example of that. So $100 seemed like a lot to me for this bag, just because I have a comparison point. However, in sort of reassessing the market value, these are very, very high. $100, even with this wear and tear, was a good price. And again, I purchased this bag very specifically because I wanted to have a cute crossbody bag to go hiking with. So literally, I went hiking with my friend the same day I picked this up as a test run. We'd already planned to go hiking, and so it's like I had this on the whole time we were hiking. I was, walking her dog. Her dog's like jumping on me, like stepping on the bag, and it's like, I don't care. And so honestly, I really liked it. It was kind of a liberating experience, like having a pretty Louis Vuitton bag that like I didn't feel super protective over. That was sort of nice, because that's usually how I feel with a lot of my bags. So I would say having a junk bag was kind of a nice experience. It was a change of pace for me. But again, the budget has to be right. I'm sure this bag could probably be sold for around $400 would be my guess of the resale value, maybe even $500, just because these are so high these days. I personally would not pay that amount for this bag, just given the amount of wear that's on it. But hey, to each their own. I'd rather pay a lot more money and get a better condition one. But again, as I mentioned in this video, now that I've seen the design flaws, because again, some of the things that we see in Louis Vuitton when we see major wear, essays like to say like, oh, it's wear and tear. And some of the wear on this bag is just wear and tear. Some of it is just like whoever used this bag prior, they were kind of rough and haphazard with it. Yes, some of it is wear and tear, but some of it is straight up also just design flaws with the bag. This bag style has design flaws, just like the Pochette Matisse has design flaws, and these design flaws come out over time, and we see these types of issues. So I'm happy. It serves the purpose that I want. People who follow me on Instagram, you're probably going to see this bag a lot this summer, because I'm going to be wearing it to go hiking all the time, and I'm really happy with it. And most importantly, the reason why I ultimately made the decision to get it is because it looks good from afar, like it's a junk bag, but it's like, it's not really a junk bag in terms of like, it doesn't look like crap from afar. From afar, this looks like a perfectly good vintage Sologne. You would not see any of the damage that I've just shown you, you know, unless I literally go and sort of put it in your face. It's all damage that's not super noticeable. It's all damage that doesn't actually impact the function of the bag. You know, a lot of the external hardware, none of the studs are missing. The kiss lock still works. So for me, it's a junk bag. Some people wouldn't quantify it as a junk bag, but either way, junk or not, it still looks beautiful and it's still functional from afar. For the sake of me having a cute bag to wear in pictures when I'm hiking, it checks the boxes. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully this answered some of the burning questions to all the people on my page who were just like mind blown by how I brought this bag for $100. And I guess I'll answer one more question too before I sign off, which is, everybody always says, how the heck do you find this stuff on Marketplace? Like, I never find stuff like this on Marketplace. And I mean, it's 100% about your area. So, you know, as people who know, I live on the East Coast. I live in the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia. And so it's like, I live very close to DC. I live close to DC, I live close to Potomac, I live close to Nova. So it's like, I live very close to like a pretty wealthy area of the country. You know, Real Housewives of Potomac, Washington, DC, all that stuff. Like, I live near very wealthy areas of the country. And so it's like, Marketplace is a bit different around here. Like, you have a lot of wealthy people who, a lot of times, to be honest with you, practically give stuff away. Like, I've gotten so much cheap stuff on Marketplace, like not just bags, but just for my home. Like, literally the couch I'm sitting on right now is a 1950s couch that's probably worth like a couple $1,000s, and I brought it off of Facebook Marketplace for $20. So I kind of just live in a wealthier area, and that's why my Marketplace is like so great. But, you know, if you live in an area that's not as wealthy, but you still want to try to find deals, you can always adjust the radius on Marketplace and take a road trip. Like, adjust the radius to include whatever the big major city is around you, and, you know, maybe drive out there on a weekend. Sometimes you have to drive. Some of the deals that I find, I have to drive, you know, 30 minutes to get to, 40 minutes, an hour. So it's like, you know, it's worth it to me. But this one, thankfully, I only had to drive about 30 minutes to get. So this one was in Nova, so I didn't have to drive too far. But anyways, I was getting ready to sign off, but I wanted to answer that question too, because that's a big one people always ask me, is like, how the heck do you find stuff like this on Marketplace? But anyways, thank you guys for watching so much, and I hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys know, I like to be fully transparent, so hopefully this was a transparent sort of review and look at this bag, and everybody's questions were answered. If you'd like to see more of my collection, feel free to stop by my Instagram at the Louis Vuitton Princess, and if you'd like to shop, source, or consign with me, feel free to check out my Instagram, shop LV Princess. Thanks.